Welcome to the Explainer. Okay, so let's talk about a big one. Your business is probably running on Microsoft, right? But maybe you've been looking over at Google's world, that cloud-native setup, and you're curious. Well, you're in the right place, because switching your entire digital toolbox is a massive, massive decision, and today we're going to break down exactly what that move looks like.
So let's just dive right into the biggest question of all. Why? Why would a company even think about leaving the Microsoft ecosystem? I mean, in a world where these two are such giants, what could possibly motivate a business to take on such a fundamental change?
Well, when you lay it all out, the decision often comes down to these four things. Google Workspace, for a lot of people, comes in at a lower price. And because it's built from the ground up to be web-based, it just feels faster, especially for remote teams who aren't tied to a powerful desktop. Everything in a browser, that's a huge deal for portability and simplicity. It's that ease of use that a lot of modern companies are finding really compelling.
Okay, so to really get our heads around this, here's our game plan. We're going to start with the why, really nail that down. Then we'll face the reality of the migration challenge. After that, we'll look at the two main ways you can actually do it, and we'll wrap up with how you make that final crucial choice.
So let's officially kick things off with the motivation. Beyond just that side-by-side table, what are the real-world drivers that are pushing businesses to make this jump?
When you dig into it, it really boils down to two things. First, it's about the money. Lower licensing costs are a huge incentive. No surprise there. But the second one is all about agility. Companies want a workflow that's built for right now, real-time collaboration that absolutely anyone can jump into from a simple web browser. No installs, no updates, just work.
Okay, but knowing why you want to move, that's the easy part. The next critical step, before you even think about committing, is truly understanding the sheer scale of the challenge you're facing.
And let me be really clear here. This isn't like just copying some files from one folder to another. We're talking about moving the digital heart of your company. Every single email, every contact, every calendar meeting, all while making sure the business doesn't grind to a halt. The stakes are incredibly high.
So you absolutely need a pre-flight checklist, and this is a great one. Things like getting your licenses sorted out and creating user accounts before you start are obvious. But the technical stuff, like enabling the right protocols and, I cannot stress this enough, performing a complete backup of everything, these are absolutely non-negotiable. Skipping one of these is just asking for a disaster.
To make this whole thing feel a little more real, let's use an analogy that I think just perfectly nails the choice you have to make. Think about it like you're moving house. You have all your valuable, irreplaceable stuff that has to get from the old place to the new one, safe and sound. And you've really got two completely different ways to get it done. So let's explore that first option, the do-it-yourself move. This is where you roll up your sleeves, maybe bribe some friends with pizza, and use Google's own built-in tools to get the job done.
The DIY process basically happens in 3 stages. First, you got to get everything ready, both your new Google Home and your old Microsoft one. Second, you actually start the heavy lifting, using the migration tool to move all the data. And third, this is the big one, you update your domain's records. That's the moment you tell the entire internet, hey, all new mail goes to Google now. There's no turning back after that.
So what's the trade-off here? Well, the pro is huge. It's free. The tool doesn't cost you a dime. But, and this is a really big but, the cons are pretty scary. It takes a long time, it demands some serious technical know-how, and if you make one little mistake, the risk of losing important data is very real. You're basically trading money for time and a whole lot of risk.
Which brings us to path number 2, hiring the professional movers. In our world, that means using a specialized, third-party automated tool that was built for one reason and one reason only, to handle this exact job.
And these tools come loaded with features specifically designed to fix all the problems with the manual way. They're built for simplicity. You can move tons of accounts at once. But the real game changers are things like Delta Migration, which cleverly only moves new data after the first big move, and having 24/7 expert support on call. That's all about minimizing downtime and risk. Okay, so we've seen the two paths, the DIY, roll-up-your-sleeves manual route, and the polished, professional, automated tool. So let's bring it all home and figure out how you decide which path is the right one for you. And honestly, this is what it all boils down to. It is a classic business trade-off. The manual path might look cheap, but you pay for it dearly with your team's time, effort, and by taking on a boatload of risk. The automated path flips that script completely.
Yes, there's an upfront cost, but you buy back all that time, and you dramatically lower the risk of something going terribly wrong.
And hey, don't just take it from me. A certified data specialist put it perfectly here. The automated software isn't just about making things easier. It's really a form of insurance. It's insurance against the complexity and, most importantly, against losing data that you can't get back.
So at the end of the day, this whole complicated technical decision really comes down to one simple but powerful strategic question you have to ask yourself. Right now, for your team, which resource is more valuable, your time or your money? Once you have the answer to that, you'll know exactly which path you need to take.